Health is real, seek help, and the stigma. On the news this evening, Rivers government slams NBA, demands 300 million naira refund over conference relocation. Chief Magistrate resigns over state of emergency in Rivers State. Stakeholders urge National Assembly to use oversight powers to monitor activities of Rivers Sole Administrator. Suspended Governor Fubara absent as PDP governors meet in Oyo State. And on the foreign scene, WHO says conditions at Gaza hospitals beyond description after Israeli attacks. I'm Sam Chinedu, and the news continues after the break. The state government has responded to the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) regarding its reason for relocating the 2025 Annual General Conference from Port Harcourt to Enugu, describing the move as misleading, uncharitable, and unbecoming for an association. In a statement signed by the Senior Special Assistant on Media, Hector Igbiki-Owubo, today the government acknowledged the NBA's right to choose its conference venue, but expressed disappointment over the reasons cited, particularly the claim that the sole administrator's actions undermine democracy and the rule of law. The statement said the NBA, as a body of legal minds, should know better than reduce a complex constitutional matter to political sensationalism. It also demanded 300 million naira already paid by Rivers State for hosting rights to the 2025 conference. A chief magistrate, Ejike King George, has resigned from the judiciary of Rivers State. King George, in a letter signed by him and tagged voluntary retirement from service, says his decision to voluntarily retire his appointment as magistrate follows his discomfort with what he described as the recent appointment of a quasi-military administration to run the affairs of a modern state like Rivers State. The letter, which was addressed to the Chief Judge through the Secretary, Rivers State Judicial Service Commission, said the type of governance in Rivers State is alien and unethical to the profession as legal practitioners and adjudicators. He said, having put in 16 out of 22 years of legal practice into the judiciary as magistrate under successive democratic administrations, he finds it hard to work with the current setting, as doing so would amount to a tacit and naive agreement. He thanked the Chief Judge for the opportunity to serve. Moving on, a Port Harcourt-based lawyer, Soseli Prim Williams, has called on the National Assembly to demonstrate its independence from the presidency regarding the state of emergency in Rivers State. Williams said this while reacting to the recent efforts by the House of Representatives to carry out oversight on the actions of the sole administrator in the state. He spoke to correspondent Soibi Oruwari.
You know the kind of situation we are in Nigeria. The National Assembly is a captured institution. They don't have say in anything that goes on in this country. Whatever the president does, they approve. Even that 10 warning they gave to the sole administrator was just a window dressing. Nothing will come out of it. They've been captured. They're not doing their job. That is why the sole administrator is not even referring to them. He's not referring to them for anything. He's preparing the budget. To do what? In 6 months, you are preparing the budget to do what? You are here to restore law and order. When he came here on his own, he confessed there is law and order. There is peace in Rivers State. So what is he doing here? The National Assembly is the existing mere on paper.
On his part, National Treasurer of the Ijaw National Congress, INC, Philip Agu, claimed that the National Assembly members have surrendered their constitutional powers to the presidency by compromising the process of ratifying a state of emergency in Rivers State.
I am saying it unequivocally that the National Assembly is a compromised set of legislators. It is very clear. Are they supposed to use voice vote to bring him on board? Why didn't they go by the two-third majority that they are supposed to do by counting? That is why I am saying that if you tell me that the operations of the sole administrator or the appointment of the sole administrator in Rivers State we have passed that level, you are telling me that I should accept that he has come to stay. He has not come to stay. That is why you can see that there are plethorias of cases here and there going on in Abuja, in Port Harcourt and elsewhere.
The INC Treasurer urged the National Assembly to question the sole administrator's spending, especially since no budget has been formally approved for him.
You can see, have we had the National Assembly say that they have passed the budget? He's spending money. Have we had the National Assembly say that, okay, you want to appoint sole administrators or administrators at the various local government area? Have we had them discuss that? Have they come out with any position of that? They just, took the position, grabbed the power from the state as if we are not Nigerians. Let the international, community hear this and let them say this. Let them hear it and see it. And if they are keeping quiet, they should know their interest is here in Rivers State.
Still in this, another lawyer, Uche Olewune, urged the National Assembly members to uphold the Constitution by fully exercising their oversight responsibilities over the sole administrator's activities.
I feel bad that the National Assembly is not really doing their real oversight functions. As the situation demands now, ought to have acted as the Rivers State House of Assembly. But obviously, are they really doing that work? The answer is no. It's not just enough for the Deputy Speaker of House of Reps to have shouted or shouted. What has the National Assembly done to check all the activities of the sole administrator here? What has the National Assembly done? It's not just about sitting there and shouting or giving warning. They should do it in practical terms. Stop this man. Well, obviously, what he's doing has no basis. It's not supported by any known law.
Olewune, however, disagreed with the notion that the National Assembly has been compromised by the presidency.
I can't really say the National Assembly has been conquered, but let me say that the National Assembly is in a deep slumber. I would rather say it that way. I can't see the president capturing or conquering the National Assembly. But let me say, for whatever may have been the reason, National Assembly is in a deep slumber. Let's believe that in time to come they will wake up to their real responsibilities, because Nigerians are looking up to the National Assembly to stop this shenanigans that is going on in Rivers State. Even what the National Assembly has done, even the approval of a two-third majority through voice vote, is unconstitutional. How did they determine who voted where he voted?
In another development, a public affairs commentator, Opunabo Nkotaria, has condemned the destruction of a billboard featuring Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara at the Obiakpor Council Secretariat. Over the weekend, the viral video showed youths in the area pulling down the billboard, which also displayed the image of former council chairman Chijioke Ihuo. Speaking to journalists, Mr. Nkotaria said no one has the right to deface or destroy the governor's billboard, because Governor Fubara remains the duly elected leader of the state despite any suspensions.
What we have in Rivers State is military regime foisted on Rivers people by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The architect of this military regime in Rivers State is the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. What they are doing is a prescription for anarchy. What is the difference between this Tinubu's regime and the military regime of Abacha? Now the billboards of the governor are being removed. He remains the governor of the state. Even on suspension, people have the temerity, the gumption to destroy the billboards of the governor.
Opunabo Nkotaria also warned that the dismantling of democratic structures by the sole administrator amounts to an open invitation to crisis.
What they are doing is a prescription for anarchy. What is the difference between this Tinubu's regime and the military regime of Abacha? All democratic structures in Rivers State have been dismantled by the sole administrator of the state, such as the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, chairman and his commissioners, and so many others have been dismantled by the sole administrator of Rivers State.
In the meantime, suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, was visibly absent when his colleagues in the PDP met in Ibadan, Oyo State today to discuss national issues. The meeting was chaired by Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, who doubles as the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum. In a communique released after the meeting, the forum said the party is not prepared to join any coalition or merger ahead of the 2027 general elections. The forum also declared its solidarity for Governor Fubara. On the spate of insecurity in parts of the country, the forum expressed concerns over the rising insecurity in Borno, Katsina, Edo, and Plateau states. The forum also announced plans to hold a national meeting on 27 May, where a zoning committee would be constituted ahead of the party's national convention, scheduled for August 28 to 30 in Kano. Still to come, death toll in fresh Plateau attack rises. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The death toll in today's attack on the ZK community Kimakba, Kwale district of Basa local government area of Plateau State has hit 51, with several houses razed. A Kwale community leader, Wakili Tongwe, told newsmen the attackers invaded the village early this morning and shot sporadically at residents. He said a team of vigilante, including himself and some security personnel, were on patrol in another community when the attackers invaded the village and started shooting. Security agencies in the state are yet to speak on the attack, which is coming less than 2 weeks after 52 persons were killed in some communities of the Bokos local government area of the north-central state. As part of efforts to sustain the crackdown against economic sabotage and associated crimes in the Niger Delta region, troops of 6th Division of the Nigerian Army have arrested 28 suspected oil thieves, thwarted attempts to set up new illegal bunkering camps in the region. The acting deputy director, public relations of the 6th Division, Lieutenant Colonel Danjuma Jonah, said the arrests were made in conjunction with other security agencies between 7th and 13th of April. The statement said Rivers State troops thwarted attempts by the criminals to set up a new illegal bunkering site around Joy Krama 4 Forest in Ahoda West local government area. President Bola Tinubu has asked African countries to deploy evolving technologies around irrigation to guarantee food security on the continent. The president gave the charge in Abuja today in a speech read on his behalf by the secretary to the government at the opening of the 6th African Regional Conference on Irrigation and Drainage. He said the conference's theme, Tackling Irrigation, Development and Water Management Crisis in Africa, is a call to action for sustainable agriculture and economic resilience. He said under his Renewed Hope agenda, his administration has declared a national emergency on food security to scale up irrigation infrastructure and participatory water resource management, among others.
To engage key policymakers, development partners, and stakeholders and chart the course for sustainable water management and infrastructure development across the continent.
On his part, the president of the International Commission on Irrigation and Drainage, Mr. Marco Arcieri, said the conference was apt considering the growing population and climate-induced pressures affecting the African continent.
We are celebrating here a very important conference on irrigation and drainage, tackling water scarcity, and how to cope with the growth of population, with water emergencies, with climate change. The challenge we have in front of us is really one of those that we really need to tackle.
On the international scene, the World Health Organization says conditions at hospitals in Gaza are beyond description after a major facility was put out of service by an Israeli airstrike. Spokeswoman Dr. Margaret Harris told the BBC it was seeing attack after attack on hospitals and healthcare workers, and medical supplies were critically low due to Israel's blockade of the territory. On the news this evening, you heard the Rivers State government has slammed the NBA and is demanding a 300 million naira refund over conference relocation. A chief magistrate has resigned over the state of emergency in Rivers State. Stakeholders have urged the National Assembly to use its oversight powers to monitor activities of the Rivers Sole administrator. Suspended Governor Fubara was absent today as PDP governors met in Oyo State. On the foreign scene, WHO says conditions at Gaza hospitals are beyond its description after Israeli attacks. The news was edited by Martha Okere. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I'm Sam Chinedu. Thanks for listening.